guys, Team Dreadnaught here, bringing you a Future Card Buddyfight deck profile this time around. Switching up from Vanguard a little bit because we've been pretty in-depth with this game for a little while. It's just one of the decks we have.
So in-depth we forgot Vanguard was the main game.
Today we're bringing you a Katana World build. My build, I play with the Ninjas and Ninja Art kind of attribute playstyle of the deck. So yeah, my flag. It allows you to play Katana World and generic cards. So,
it has most flags in the respective world. It has most flags in the respective world.
My buddy, and then 4 of in the deck, I play Accelerate Ninja Hayate. He's a size 1, 2000 attack, 1000 defense, 2 critical monster with move, with the ninja attribute. It's a solid monster. It's pretty weak on the stats, obviously, but a 2 crit is pretty nice in the deck. And you're usually using him to bash your opponent anyway. And even if not, this is your guy to knock out Demon Lord Osmodai's or Evil in Heart Yamagitsune's or other small things that have weak defense.
Like how targeted us.
This guy's your man. The move ability is pretty relevant in this deck because of certain cards I'll get to later. But yeah, this is just a solid guy. I play 4, and then the 5th one is my buddy. So yeah, so the guy who would be my buddy, but I'm missing a 5th copy, and that would be Nanomachine Ninja Tsukikage. He's a size 1, 5000 power, 1000 defense with 2 crit. His effect is whenever he's destroyed on my field through any means whatsoever, whenever he's destroyed, I can choose 1 non-monster card from my hand and discard it, and he doesn't leave the field. Now this doesn't prevent effects like Penetrate. Like if you attack with a Penetrate with this guy and I discard to keep him alive, I still have to take the Penetrate damage. But it's still a solid creature, or monster rather, just because of 5000 attack. There's not much in Katana World that's size 1, that's 5000. There's only 2. And the other one you don't really want to play in the Ninja attribute playstyle. And that being Evil in Heart Yamagitsune. But yeah, he's just a solid card. I think he's a little overrated, just because his effect plus his defense kind of leaves you in really awkward positions where you really have to judge just how many cards you want to pitch until you feel like this guy just has to die to conserve hand. But it's a learning process. Every situation is different. But yeah, he's just a solid card. Try to play as many as you can, if not, make him your buddy. Then I play 3 Electron Ninja Shiden, or 4 rather. He's a size 1, 3000 attack, 1000 defense, 1 critical. But his effect is, once per turn, I can discard a card from my hand with the Ninja Art attribute and pay 1 gauge to draw 2 cards. And I can only use it once per turn, per card. So, he's about the only thing that the Ninja Art has in form of card advantage. So, I play him just for the consistency and the ability to draw more cards to get into my good spells or to draw monsters that I might need to push. The 1 critical is kind of lame, but at least he's a 3000 power, which allows him to hit relatively normal monsters in the meta, so not bad. Now I play 2 Mobile Ninja Jiraiya. He's Katana World size 2, 5000 attack, 5000 defense, 2 crit. Vanilla clone. I think every world has this right now.
Yeah.
A 5/5/2. Solid stats, good crit as a size 2. There's not much else they really want to play, unfortunately, just because the world just came out recently, so you got to use what they give you. He's still a solid card though. I only play 2 right now though. Then we have 2 Phantom Ninja Cashin Touji, size 2, 5000 or 1000 attack, 5000 defense, 2 critical. Which may seem low stats, but his effect is, he has a call cost of 1 gauge. His effect is, when he's called to your field, you can look at your opponent's hand, which is pretty devastating for some of the cards in Katana World. Allows you to really see your opponent's hand and wonder how you want to play out certain cards later in the game, how you want to plan out attacks, how you want to... The knowledge is pretty useful. And also his other effect is, he himself cannot be link attacked. So as a size 2, even though he's kind of weak, he can still hit your opponent for 2, but because of the 5000 and his ability not to be link attack, If he's in the middle, he can be sometimes kind of a problem against your opponent. Simply because unless they have one of their, unless they have like a drum like one of their buddies, like a Drum Bunker Dragon or a Yamagitsune or a Demon Lord Osmodai, they're usually not going to be able to get over him that easily unless they have some guy with 5,000 or some way to pump their attack or whatever. But yeah, he's just a good solid card. And then a card I'm kind of skeptical about, 2 Cyber Omnyonji Sayame. He's a size 2 monster with 3,000 attack, 5,000 defense, with 1 critical, which is alright stats, but the 1 critical is kind of lame, obviously. But the reason why is because his effect is, during my turn, I can pay 2 gauge and choose 1 card in my hand and put it face down, either on any open spot on my field. And that monster and that face down card becomes a size 1, 6,000 attack, 6,000 defense, 2 critical monster with no attributes or anything. I'm still kind of iffy on this card. I haven't done much testing about it, but it looks like it might pull some weight based on how my testings without it, where it might have come in handy. He also doesn't have a call cost like a Kashin Koji does, with the ability to like create an army sometimes, which is kind of nice. So yeah, I only played 2 of him, just trying him out.
What size does it make?
So he's a mixed size 1. Yeah, he's a size 2 that makes size 1s.
Keep in mind that guy, when he dies, will not kill the token. The token will still be there.
Yeah, if the token's still alive and this guy leaves the field, the token still, or the face down card still stays. They're not attached to each other. If one goes, the other one doesn't. So, like if this guy stays alive and the token dies, next turn you can just make another one with his effect. So it's pretty useful. And then rounding out size 2s, I play 1 Wandering Ninja Tobi Kaido. The 4,000 size 2, 4,000 attack, 3,000 defense, 3 crit. I would rather this card be a Purgatory Ninja Zankyo, which is a 4,000, 4,003 that can't be called to the center, but makes my ninja arts uncounterable. But I don't have any of those, unfortunately, so I play just one of this guy just because of the 3 crit. It's pretty. It can be good if you open with it. It can be good late game, but he's just a standard like little vanilla size 2 guy, not much. Now size 3s, I play 1 Extermination Ninja Flashing Asura. He's a size 3, 6,000 attack, 4,000 defense, 3 crit. He has no call cost, which is pretty unique for size 3s, so you can just get in for 3 if you need. But his effect is pretty cool depending on the situation, because you're not always going to want to play this guy in certain situations. His effect is, once per turn, during your turn, you can pay 1 life and discard your entire hand to destroy every single monster on your opponent's field. So that's pretty nice. If they have like a big field, you can just wipe it all away and hit them for 3. But obviously, he sometimes has to pull his weight enough just because weapons are a pretty big thing, and with 4,000 defense, he gets hit by almost like every weapon.
Smack the face with a weapon and like, man, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, if he killed weapons too, that'd be pretty sweet. But then he probably would have a call cost of like 1. But yeah, he's pretty good. I only play 1 of them though. And then the last size 3, last monster also, is 1 Superior Strength Ninja Kotaro Fuma. It's a size 3, 6,000 attack, 5,000 defense, 2 crit. He has a call cost of 1, but he also has move and double attack. Like Hayate, move is pretty relevant in this deck for a couple reasons. Double attack's pretty standard. This guy's just all around a little bit better than Asura in most situations. Asura's more for when they're rushing you. Kotaro's more for when it's got a bunch of stuff in the way and you want to get through it. And because of the move, it allows you to more adequately play weapons in the deck. So yeah, not bad, but not good. But he definitely pulls his weight. Going on to spells, I play 4 Art of Explosive Hades Fall. Probably the best spell in Katana World. And maybe one of the best spells in the game, just because of its implications. It's a set spell, call cost of pay 1, and then choose any card from your deck and place it into its soul face down. And then its effect is whenever a monster would enter your opponent's field from anywhere for any reason, you can look at the card underneath its soul. If the card underneath this is a monster with a size that is equal to the size of the monster that your opponent put on his field, you can reveal it, destroy Hades Fall, destroy the monster your opponent called, and then deal 2 damage to him. So if they play like, say, an Osmodai, and you reveal the soul and you reveal the size 1, the Osmodi's effect would still go off, but you would in turn destroy the Osmodi, destroy this, and then deal your opponent 2 damage. To kind of, you know, not make Osmodi hurt so much because it has destroyed one of your guys. So it's pretty solid. One thing I will mention about this guy though is if your opponent plays like a drum bunker and you reveal the size 2 to stop it, it will only take out its soul. So that's something to keep in mind. Like their call cost will go into effect before this thing wants to destroy it. So always keep that in mind. Also, if you play Skull Warriors, this is also like almost a staple 4 of as well as in this deck, because in the Skull Warrior builds you can put Yamagitsune under this. So if you have Return to the Underworld, you don't have to wait to draw it. If you have this in your opening hand, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a Yamagitsune in your graveyard pretty early, if you know your opponent's deck and what they want to play their first turn. So you can play Return to the Underworld to reborn your Yamagitsune. So yeah, I play 4 of them. Then we have 4 Clear Serenity, the Katana World gauge gaining cards. Except theirs is a little bit different. While all the other ones are gain 2 gauge. This one for a counter. This one's a gain 3 gauge for a counter, but you can only play 1 of these per turn. Obviously, they made it 3 gauge just because Katana World uses a bit more gauge than the other clans do if it's played right. It really eats it. It really eats it up. And you don't always want to charge a lot of things, and there's a lot of things that take gauge, obviously, so... Yeah, you want to play 4 of these in pretty much everything. Demon World, you don't have to, or the Skull Warrior version, you don't have to play 4 of these, but people would recommend it just so you have consistency. Then we play 4 Art of Body Replacement. This is just a clone of Solomon's Shield. It nullifies an attack so long as it's not a link attack. Pretty standard, just play 4 of them for consistency's sake and just because negate attacks are pretty relevant. Then we play 4 Demon Way Geppaku Giri. This is the only spell in my deck that does not have the Ninja Arts attribute. Like for stuff like Shiden and for a card I'm about to get to in a second, whenever you have to discard a card, they're looking specifically for Ninja Arts to activate their effects. Like Shiden has to discard a Ninja Art attribute card. This is the only one in my deck that doesn't. It's just because it's such a powerful card. Geppaku Giri's effect is that whenever you can only activate it when one of your monsters is destroyed. For any reason, from anything. It can be even from one of your own effects. And when that happens, you can cast this at counter and target one of your opponent's monsters and destroy it. It kind of makes Gal Khan not do anything against Katana World. It's because they blow up something that you destroyed a size 3 that they just paid like 2 or 3 gauge for.
2 gauge and stack 2 creatures.
Yeah, 2 gauge and 2 creatures for it. Like, that's pretty hefty. Yeah, it's good against Osmodi because it basically becomes a 2 for 2. They pay Osmodi and discard a card. One of your monsters died and you basically played Geppa to kind of... It's just a good way to gain tempo advantage over your opponent. They can't just run over your stuff. And it can mess up combat also because they might have a plan to attack this into this, and then all of a sudden their plan kind of goes up in smoke because one of the creatures they were anticipating being on the field died. So just always play 4 of them. It's probably one of the more powerful cards in Katana World, if not in the entire game. It's very underrated right now. I would definitely recommend playing 4 of it just because of what it can do. And then the other card I said that was based around the Ninja Arts is I play 3 Shinobi Scroll. Another set spell. Its effect is once per turn as an act ability. You can pay 1 gauge and choose 1 card in your hand and put it into this card's soul face down and draw 1 card. Then, at any time during either player's turn, you can always just look at this soul underneath this card, and you're allowed to cast Ninja Arts from it by paying their casting cost. So if you have, say, Body Replacement underneath it, you would pay 1 gauge, put Body Replacement underneath Shinobi Scroll, draw 1 card, and then let's say now it's your opponent's turn a little later. They attack, look under Shinobi Scroll, reveal Body Art Replacement, and you can then use it, negate an attack, and it would go to the drop. Just a very solid card. It basically allows all of your Ninja Art cards to gain a or it allows every card in your deck to basically have a pay 1 gauge to draw a card. And if they're ninja arts, you can play it from underneath it, allowing you to basically hide cards from your opponent in a way that they might not remember even exist because they don't see them in your hand. So yeah, I play 3 of these.
No, I go fast, but yeah.
And then the last spells in my deck, and pardon the writing on these.
Nice.
I play 2 Art of Item Blasting because it must be nice. It's a call cost of 2 gauge to destroy any item on the field. Very, very strong against Dragon World for sure.
It definitely must be nice.
It definitely must be nice when they try to do something.
They item blast it.
Yeah, when they have the Twin Blade Drago Anthem and they put a spell on them and you item blast it, it must be nice.
That's nice.
Yeah. When your opponent has Hysterical Spear and a Drum Bunker, yeah, it must be nice.
Oh, you paid 2 gauge? Oh, 2 gauge too.
Yeah, it must be nice. Yeah, this card's just real solid. I play 2 of them just for the consistency reasons. Items are always relevant, and if you don't need them, you can just gauge them, obviously, or pitch them to Shiden and draw cards. It's lovely. It must be nice. It always just must be nice. Now moving on to impacts. I play quite a bit of impacts in this deck just because of this particular card here. I play 4 Secret Sword Lethal Formation. It's a set impact, which is pretty unique. Its effect is, and I'll put the other ones over here for you. I play 1 of each of the other Secret Swords. This thing's effect is that when you play it, you can search for any card. I believe it might be down here. Yeah, when you play this, you can search your deck, drop zone, or hand for any card and put it into this thing's soul. But you basically always want to get 1 of these 3. Usually this one. And then, if the card ever happens... Okay, so you do that. You search for any card anywhere and put it into its soul. Now, at any time, you can place other Secret Sword cards from its soul by paying its casting cost. And all of these have the same casting cost. They're all 3 gauge. But they all do different things. The first one is Shooting Star, which is whenever one of your opponent's items attacks you directly, you can pay 3 gauge, destroy the item before the attack hits you, and deal your opponent 3 damage. The next one is Moonfang, which is pay 3 gauge to negate an impact your opponent plays, and then deal them 3 damage. And then the last one, and arguably the best one, is Star Crusher, which is negate a spell your opponent plays, and then deal them 3 damage.
And all these Fuego.
Right, all these cost 3 gauge. They're all different. They're all good for their own reasons. Star Crusher obviously better than the other ones.
They only play
that Moonfang while using its Gargantuan Punisher.
Yeah, the thing about it is
You might
Moonfang.
negate the activation, but if your opponent is at 3, it will kill them.
Yeah, though this cannot negate a Gargantuan Punisher. If your opponent is at 3 and they Gargantuan Punisher you, and you have this underneath it, if you activate this while they're at 3 damage or 3 life left, and you use this when they use Gargantuan Punisher, you will win the game because Moonfang will deal its 3 damage before Gargantuan Punisher deals its 4. So that's a good thing to realize.
Note that they all must be played. It can only be played from under lethal.
Yeah, they can only be played underneath lethal formation, and thankfully all of these are also ninja. They're all also ninja arts, so they do count for Shiden and stuff like that. Like if you get Shinobi Scroll, put this underneath Shinobi Scroll, and at the end of the turn, final phase, and then call this and play this underneath Shinobi Scroll. It's pretty solid. And then to round out the deck, I play 1 item, just 1 Ninja Blade Kurokachi. It's just a basic 3,000 2-crit vanilla item. It's pretty much it.
He plays it because it must be nice.
Yeah, and then just for a quick rundown on the sideboard for this, it's just 2 Armor Priest Benkais, just in case I need more grade 1s for Explosive Hades Fall against more Rush style decks. And also 1 extra Extermination Ninja, just because, in case Rush case decks. 3 Demon Way Noro Hikogami, which is pay 1 gauge. I can only play this when one of my opponent's monsters attacks one of my monsters in the center.
It's supposed to run on 30 seconds.
If the... Yeah, there's 2 of these. 2 Sakura Fubu keys that negate attacks, and then 1 of each of knives.
Woo!
So that's my Katana roll deck, and that's it.
Remember to like, comment, subscribe for more videos and updates.